Good morning. It is Monday, December 5th, puts us 90 days out from March 5th. So we're actually a month out, which or 3 months to the day out, which doesn't normally happen. So it keeps it easy to track and horrifying as well, because we're closing in on like St. Patrick's Day from a business standpoint. So let's stay aware of that. That's why we always talk about it. It is December 5th, closing in on March 5th for 90 days out. So for the schedule for the week, so much coming up and a lot of opportunities for you guys to work not only in your business right now. I understand a lot of people are working on their business, and Business Planning Clinic is coming up next Thursday. We'll talk about that in a second. That is next Thursday. It's our final one for the fall, and we are slipping it in before winter starts officially, so it is still fall. And then after that, the next one we're going to do is going to be on June 29th, which will be a Thursday. And you're thinking, June? Well, that's going to sneak up on you too, and that's why we're doing it. We did our first ever halftime business planning clinic this year, and we're going to keep doing it every year. We're going to make sure that we put one in. I apologize. I don't know what's happening. There it is. We're going to make sure that we do a halftime business planning clinic every year. Invariably, we get away from the plans that we made, the goals that we set. So dropping that June 29th business planning clinic this coming summer is going to be an opportunity for you guys to reset. It's the 15th protocol for the entire year, of course, is right before the 4th of July weekend. So that's when that's going to happen. Our final fall business planning clinic at the York Public Library is going to be next Thursday, the 15th, and that is a full day of training, breakfast, and lunch. We're in there all day. We're going to take you through all of the models in the MREA. And then, God willing, have you leave with some sense of what you have planned for next year and some goals to attack. And above and beyond that, whether you did it with Virginia last week or you're going to do it with Mark this coming Thursday in Meredith, we're doing vision boards as well. So there's an opportunity for that. We'll talk about that when we get to the schedule and the importance of that. So for today, we've got Proven Cappers at 11 o'clock. So if you are a capper, you're joining me at 11 o'clock at kellertv.com. Love to see your face there. Ask the Brokers at Keller TV at 1 o'clock today. An opportunity for you to be in the room with your brokers, with your questions. Again, unprecedented availability to our brokers, and to be able to hang out with JV today at 11 o'clock. Or 1 o'clock, I apologize, 1 o'clock on Keller TV is pretty awesome. So please jump in for that. And then the 2 o'clock All Associates growth call, and that is with Keller Williams New England, and the link for that is in the news. Tomorrow, just to remind you, tomorrow at 8:15, the Dunkin' Donuts in Kittery is where it starts. It is the Homes Tour, and it's going to be York County. Melissa Lesniak will be taking you on that wild adventure. You get to see some homes, you get to meet other brokers, and then above and beyond that, there is sustenance at the end, and you hand in all your sheets. And it's a great way to learn the inventory, create relationships with other brokers from other brokerages, as it were, and above and beyond that, have a better understanding. So when you do have a buyer or a seller who wants more information on what's going on and where the market stands, you can speak to it directly with the current inventory. So a massive opportunity for that. That's tomorrow. That starts at 8:15, departing from Dunkin' Donuts on Route 1 in Kittery. We have at 11 o'clock tomorrow. We have conversation and script practice. That's at 11 o'clock on Keller TV. The One Thing series continues on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. And then, of course, this Wednesday, contracts hit. It is Massachusetts at 9, Maine at 10, and New Hampshire at 11 o'clock. Always, 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 always a great idea to be in the room for that. Database to Data Bank is going on in Portsmouth, and that is with Melissa and Brooke. And there's an agent panel as well. Some of our agents who have really leaned into command and are utilizing their databases to build their business. The number one way to grow year over year is to add more conversations to your business, and they're going to talk about that. And then there is a holiday happy hour hosted by the MREA Group, our in-house farm team. So Allison Mueller, Zoe, and our friends from Movement Mortgage are going to be helping us with that. So that is in the Agent Lounge, and that is coming up on Thursday and Wednesday. I apologize. And then orientation. Orientation is Thursday. That is from 9 to 3. So that's going to be here in Portsmouth if you want to be in the room. It's also going to be on Zoom. And there's an opportunity to just better understand the entirety of the company. So it is for anyone who is like, I'm not really sure. I haven't been in a while. I never went. We want you to jump into orientation. That's 9 to 3 on Thursday. A full day of understanding and information about all of KWCLM to wrap your arms around all the resources that are available here. So please join us for that. Immediately after that, Rosanna Queenan from QueenVest is going to be on the Zooms from 3 to 4. Business, finances, and profit and loss. She'll talk about that, and you can get in touch with her. She'll have information on how you can work with her directly. That's 3 to 4 on Thursday. Vision boards at 4 o'clock at the Meredith Business Center. Mark and the crew are going to be hosting that in Meredith. That is 4 to 7. This is an opportunity now to take the goals that you made during Business Planning Clinic, or at least have an idea of what you want, things that you want to create, opportunities you want to create for your loved ones and for yourself. You can visualize that, put it on poster board, most people do, and then have that hanging in a space where you see it every day. Because other than that, when you write down all your numbers, even if you write out, which is good to write out your goals, but to be able to visualize them and to see the vacation, to see the vehicle you want, to see the new roof on the house, whatever it might be. And everybody has different goals. There's no judgment. It's just a great idea to visualize those, to have them in a place in your workspace where they become a conversation piece so other people can hold you accountable and cheer you on. And above and beyond that, to remind you why you're doing what you're doing on an annual basis, right? Because these are really visualizations of micro whys within your big why. So vision boards at the Business Center in Meredith, and that is taking place Thursday from 4 to 7. And then always on Fridays at 8:30, we do a quick start at 8:22, and then we get you right over to Mark King with Wealth Building 2.0. There's a Facebook page for that. So if you haven't been on the Facebook page for that, please do jump into that. And then the next most important thing is back to basics with your brokers. That takes place on Friday. So there's your schedule. What I wanted to talk to you about today, you guys know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I adore the one and only Simon Sinek. So he has created, I was going to say a book club. He's created his own press company. So it is called Optimism Press, which you shouldn't be shocked by, which is really funny because he's got his podcast, which is all about optimism. And the irony that his name is Sinek, right? But it's Sinek. But Simon Sinek, one of the first books to come out of his book company, and you hear me talk about our friends over at the Ritz-Carlton and the terminology they use in their book of irrational loyalty. Well, this is along the same lines. And it's also written by somebody who's in the hospitality industry. And here it is. It's called Unreasonable Hospitality. Will Guidara wrote Unreasonable Hospitality. And what it's all about, it's a restaurant that Will has in, it's 11 Madison Park in New York City. And how he trained his kitchen staff, his entire wait staff, the whole company, just to create unreasonable hospitality. And there's another book, Robbie Kelman Baxter, I think. Write it down. I'm probably wrong, but you'll be able to find the book. I believe Robbie Kelman Baxter wrote the book, The Membership Economy. And I know a lot of people are leaning into that book. And it's important because you want to create an inclusivity in your business. You want to create that feeling of belonging. So, what are you doing for your consumers, your friends, your loved ones that aren't yet consumers yet and aren't yet clients yet, to make them feel like they're part of something? And Robbie Kelman Baxter wrote that book about the membership economy, a great read. Now, next to that, I would put this book for sure, Unreasonable Hospitality. And there's a great note at the front of the book. The foreword is written by Simon Sinek for Will Guidara. And he talks about the fact that we have gotten away from being together. And this is, this whole conversation is born out of coming out of COVID, and how everybody wanted to be together, yet we aren't getting back together. We have not been together. So What are we doing to make sure that we are spending more time with each other? What are we doing to make sure people feel included? What are we doing to make sure people feel that you truly do care, right? People don't necessarily care what we know until they know that we care. So how are you making people feel cared for? Diana Kokoska years ago talks about when she was sitting with her parents at the kitchen table and she asked her dad, how do you do what you do? Because he was extraordinary at sales and making people feel heard and cared for. And he reminded her that you have to look at every person that you encounter and remember there's a sign on their forehead that says, make me feel special. So how are we doing that day in and day out? And how are we showing up to be significant for people as opposed to, because success is internal. Significance is the effect of we have on others. So how are we doing that on a regular basis? How are we making sure that people feel heard and cared for and significant? So when they do become transactional, it is not really a shock that they're coming back to you because of the way that you made them feel in between the transactions. James Shaw says it all the time. You either love people or things, right? And if you love people, then we're going to be in relationship with them always. If we love things, we'll be in relationship with people only when we need them to stroke a check. And I know that's not the business you want. Everyone says to me on a regular basis, well, Timmy, I don't want to be salesy on the phone. So how do we show up? How do we create unreasonable hospitality? How do we create irrational loyalty? How do we make people feel part of something? Another book that we reference all the time, Michael Mayer, M-A-H-E-R, Michael Mayer, The 7 Levels of Communication, is the highest level of communication between two people is the personal invite. Now, I'm not asking you to try to throw together a holiday party before the end of the year. I'm not trying to tell you that you have to spend any money. We want you to be savvy with your expenses right now, for sure. But what can you create, whether you have a budget for it or you do not, to invite people in, to make them feel part of something? And the easiest way to do that is just start to call and connect with them. And if you want to jump in the car and you want to swing by people's businesses, great. If you want to drop by people's houses and drop off, something of value, that's great too. But we can probably have the most conversations and make people feel most heard and cared for if we connect with them, and we can start doing that today via the phone. Super simple. So calling and having the conversation about how their holiday went. Thanksgiving, what's coming up for them with Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever they celebrate. And then above and beyond that, you can attack it from coming from contribution. People are looking for a coat, a toy, food, or fuel. I think those are simple categories right now to attack. How do you make people feel heard and cared for and part of something? Because when I call and ask you, do you know anybody that needs a toy, a coat, food, or fuel? And you can chunk it down, pick one category if you want to. And connect, and that's connecting to the toy drive here with Michael Whitney and Sue Doyle. That's connecting to a coat drive here with Marcy Francis. Or starting your own, or connecting to the one that you have going at your church or your social club. And then when it comes to food and fuel, and this is where everybody gets handcuffed mentally, and I appreciate that, please don't. I'm giving you permission to not feel handcuffed. Do not get into analysis paralysis. Should you start to make those calls and you start checking with people who might need food or fuel, you're calling your people and asking who they might know or if there's a resource you can help. We had an agent that was making these calls in the last couple of weeks, and they got a hold of somebody. She's on the school board, and there is a dire need in their school system for somebody to start to pay for kids' lunches because everybody has that account. A lot of school systems, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of school systems have accounts. So my wife and I have to go on, my wife handles it, but my wife and I have to go on and make sure that Cameron and Aiden have enough money in their thing at Co-Brown so they can go and buy all the wonderfully nutritious food that they get at the snack bar at Co-Brown. I was being facetious. Anyway, so that being said, there are a lot of accounts that are running dry. And there's a lot of schools that are letting kids still eat, obviously, because they're good people. But how do we make those kids feel whole? How do we help out those people? And you can do that anonymously. So one of our agents ran into that at their school system and was able to reach back out, then started to talk to her friends, crowdsource some funding, and went in and paid off a whole bunch of accounts and filled them up. That's amazing. That's the kind of stuff. So when you come back to them with your next call to invite them to your holiday party, to invite them to your first quarter event, the last time you spoke with them, you checked in about the holidays, and they were empowered to serve others through you. That's what this is all about. This is service first, sales second. Head down, heart up. Everyone right now is on the struggle bus for one reason or the other. And you being an ear, you being a shoulder in their moment of need, whether they're going to express it or not, if we show up and just allow people to talk, that will be wildly welcomed. And that's how we become significant. And through us being significant for others, success will show up. Don't overthink what you need to do to connect with your people. Just connect with your people. We say this all the time. You do not have to be great to start. You have to start to be great. We can do that today. If I can help, please let me know. Join us tomorrow at 11 o'clock for Scripts. It is 603-834-2856 or meetwithcoach.com. Meetwithcoach.com or 603-834-2856. We adore the fact that you're in business with us. I'm asking you to allow us to help you move your business forward. Let's lean in. Let's call the people that we know and love and trust to find out who we, together with them, can serve. I'll see you in and around the market